So how's it feel to be back in the studio, Clee?
It's great to be back.
Did you enjoy yourself at the wedding?
I had all the fun. So much fun, I'm going to be wearing jammies for the foreseeable future.
Jammy time.
Yeah.
Rafi's Rambles, Rafi's Rambles, Rafi's Rambles.
Hola, you amazing artist. We are back.
We're back.
Back in the studio after going up north.
Yeah, 950 miles each way, plus several cups of coffee and a mud mask later, and we are ready to get back to our scheduled programming.
Yes, we are. We're ready to rock and roll. Now, we are still doing catch-up work this week because honestly, we weren't really prepared to take that many days off. But I wanted to make sure that we got a hold of you guys and let you know what was going on this week and the different things that inspired us. Many of you know that our tagline is endlessly inspired by the stuff of life. And just in case you are wondering, like, well, what does that mean, Rafi? What do you mean you're inspired by the stuff of life? What kind of stuff? Pretty much the stuff that went on this week with our journey up north and the wedding and all the stuff that was going on at the wedding and the people at the wedding and my brother and my sister-in-law and all of that stuff. It's just completely and utterly inspiring, and I'll explain why in a second. A lot of times when artists or creators or anything like that is looking for any kind of inspiration, they think that they need to find an inspiration that's directly going to inspire them to create a work of art. Like, I'm specifically looking for this thing to inspire me, and it's almost like they don't know what it is that they're looking for until they find it. And in all honesty, the way that I get inspired to create artwork or to create anything is to be inspired just in my life in of itself. And that way I get so full of inspiration to just be happy and alive that it pours out into my artwork.
Yeah, it's more like a vibe thing. You get rejuvenated and you're like, I'm ready to play.
Yeah, exactly. So after this weekend, definitely, I get into the studio and I'm like, I am ready to play. I am ready to create some awesome shite.
Yeah, where are the materials? Bring on the materials. I'm ready to make things with these materials.
So in case you don't know, my brother and my sister-in-law have been together for about 15 years. So the fact that they were going to tie the knot officially, that's a big deal. So they invited us up for their wedding, which I knew was going to be epic, but I did not, for some reason, quantify that it was going to be so amazing. The thing that really made it amazing is the creative energy that just imbued the place. My brother and my sister-in-law are both musicians. My sister-in-law is a graphic designer. She is also an artist. Obviously, my cousins were there. They're all jewelers. There were writers, inventors, producers, visual media artists, and just about every kind of other creative that you could think of. There were so many musicians, so many amazing musicians there. In fact, if I was able to describe this wedding to somebody that didn't know my family and didn't know where it was that we were going, I would say that this was a amazing, epic music venue with a wedding. And I wouldn't expect anything less. It wasn't the typical, like, boring wedding where you go to the ceremony and then you sit at a banquet and then you eat and then some music happens and people dance weirdly on the dance floor.
I would like to say that I did dance weirdly on the dance floor.
I danced epically on the dance floor, FYI.
You sure did.
You had music performances from like 4 different bands go up there. You had Orchestra 33. Creedence Revived. CoverGirl, and Straightjack. Straightjack, by the way, is Clee's old band.
My first band.
Yep, they were all there, and so they haven't performed a song live for about 14 or 15 years, and they went for it and went up there, and it was amazing. amazing to see Klee up on stage.
Yeah, it was super cool, impromptu. We were like, this is the first time we've all been in the same room together for like over a decade. Let's do this.
These things are all inspiring, all these things about life. Not only did you have all these creative people, there was rain looming and it started raining and there was all this rain predicted, but nobody stopped. Everybody kept going and figured, you know what, if it rains, then we'll deal with it then. There was no panic, no bridezilla, no groomzilla, none of that stuff. Familiar.
I don't know what you just said, little kid.
You know, like family, like good family.
Familial.
Yeah, familial, yes. We don't get stressed out about very many things, and I know that they don't get stressed out about very many things. In fact, my family, whenever we do a gathering, things just kind of fall together, because I feel like when you try to force it, it doesn't work out quite as well. One of the first roadblocks that we ran into when we got invited up north to be in the wedding was our finances. Our finances, as you guys know, if you've been watching us for a while, had taken a little bit of a dive at the beginning of the year, and we are still, even now, in the process of catching up and getting back on balance, back on track. The idea of expensing a trip to go up north it was pulling on those insecurity strings of like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it, but at the same time, my brother is one of my favorite people in the world, and there really was no way that I was going to miss this wedding.
Yeah, the animal brain was like, budgets and timelines and spreadsheets. How are we going to logistically make this happen?
Yeah,
we were like, shut up, brain.
Where there's a will, there's a way. So my dad was going up there, and we decided, well, why don't we just ride together, and that way it'll be a cheaper trip anyway. We could just drive up there. That's my dad.
As it turns out, your dad's a really fun human to road trip with.
Yeah.
I found out.
Dad is a lot of fun. He's a lot of fun. He's infuriating at times, but
Totally.
He's definitely a lot of fun. One of the other roadblocks, and you guys know this if you watch our vlog, was the fact that I was going to be wearing a tux. Not too many people know this, but I literally burned my suits. I was done. I was like, I am never going to wear a tie again, because the suit and tie became the symbol of oppression for me. As it turns out, I look pretty darn good in a tux.
You look so dapper in a tux. You are a handsome, handsome man.
You had a dress change at the very last moment.
Oh yeah, I found out a couple of days before the wedding that there was a dress conundrum and they had to change my dress. And actually, I didn't get to try my dress on until the day before the wedding.
We both saw the picture and I was like, ooh, that dress doesn't look...
That dress is taupe. But turns out I tried on the dress and it fit like it was made custom for me. It was the most beautiful dress on.
Amazing, amazing. The moment that she stepped out and she had her dress on and she was all ready to go, my jaw dropped. So much so that I didn't film any footage of that. I look pretty darn good.
Also, you're probably the only humans that Rafi would be willing to wear a tux for.
Exactly. You really are. I would not wear a tux for anybody else. As soon as the ceremony started, we were all standing there. They're exchanging vows, and out of nowhere, I hear this phone go off. And in my mind, I'm like, whose phone? Who does not turn off their phone? And I look over, and my mom, it was my mom's phone, but she's like moving in slow motion to get it. And I was like...
It basically looked like...
Then I remembered that I should probably put my phone on silent, especially since I'm the one standing up there.
Yeah, so your mom did us a solid.
She did. Thanks, Mom. Now, you guys have heard stories of my dad. My dad pretty much does what he wants. When he wants. And, you know, it's one of those things where you ask him, like, Dad, why did you do that? He's like, what? Like, he really genuinely doesn't realize sometimes.
And a wedding is no exception to this.
No, a wedding is absolutely no exception. See if you could spot my dad with his pink Solo cup and his red phone recording something that is very special to him, and he was willing to go to any lengths to get the best shot.
Literally any lengths, and he filmed it from like every angle. And it was like he was teleporting to key locations.
Yes, he was teleporting. So all in all, you take a look at an experience like that, and you take a look at my brother and sister, Rich and Amber, and the way that they responded during that entire event. You take a look at the endless creatives that came to this event and the conversations and people that I hadn't seen in years and people that Clee hadn't seen in years, and all of these musicians performing and being in their element, and all of this absolute and complete joy and happiness. When something like that happens and somebody tells me that they cannot find inspiration, that's where I just have to question that. There are so many things in life that are inspiring, and the moment that I got back into the studio, I could not wait to share some of those life experiences, either through my art or through a video or through any kind of creative outlet that I have.
I was super excited to get home and start playing with music again after being surrounded by so much music. You were inspired by feelings and colors and all the things that you saw.
All the things. It was just beautiful. It was beautiful, and there were so many different conversations and so many different things that I saw and so many different feelings that just inspired me to want to create something. It's just taking something from life and living that experience and letting that experience pour out of you in whatever form you decide for it to take. So the moral of the story is that if you allow yourself to get inspired by the stuff of life, then pay close attention to every single moment, every single event, every single thing that you get to experience every day, because those things can become a song, they could become a painting, they could become a piece of poetry, they could become a piece of jewelry, they could become so many things because you absorb those moments and then you express them out in whatever it is that you create.
And I think the second moral of the story is to go with the flow.
Go with the flow. Go with the flow, definitely. So if it's raining on your wedding, don't become a bridezilla.
Or a groomzilla.
Or a groomzilla. And that's it, you guys. Just wanted to touch base with you guys and let you know that we are back and that we are feeling extremely inspired. And as you know, I just launched my book campaign before we left. I did that on purpose because I was terrified to launch it, so I launched it before we left because I knew that I wouldn't be able to look at it. And I am excited to say that it is over 65% funded.
That's insane!
That's blowing me away. Thank you so much, you guys. You guys are freaking amazing.
Yeah, Rafi was like, I'm just gonna launch it and I'm gonna go, man. I'm just gonna launch it and go. I'm just gonna launch it and I'm gonna go away. It's gonna be fine.
Yep.
And it's doing tremendous.
So if you're interested in looking at the details of my book, there is a link to the campaign in the description box below. And that's it, you guys. It's so good to be back. It's so good to, well, I don't see you, but for you to see my face.
It's so good to visualize you and be seen.
Yes.
It sounded kind of creepy. It's so good to visualize you.
I'm visualizing you. And if you have any questions for us, go ahead and leave those in the comment section below. And thank you so much for watching, you guys. You guys are absolutely freaking amazing. I totally adore you. I totally missed you. And if you like this and you want to watch more like this, just click right over here to subscribe. And that's it. Say goodbye, Clee.
Good day.
Adios.